What is up, everybody? My name is Ryder Renegade, and today we're once again unboxing another Zhu Zhu City hamster. This one being my personal favorite out of them all, and just so glad to have it back released in its original style. That is Chunk. Now, what makes this one specifically my personal favorite out of them all is because of three specific key details because of my past with him from the original Zhu Zhu Pets line. Number one being my first of the Fab 4 from the original Zhu Zhu Pets line. 2, uniquely getting him with the bunny ear clip-on accessory. And 3, because of him being a pure white Zhu Zhu Pet, just many custom capabilities that you can just do with just one simple hamster, including with the simple the sun birthmark that it has on his back. And now he's back in full glory, full Snow White glory. And then basically all the custom capabilities can be returned once more as he's continually wow. I really can't speak whatsoever. You can continue the tradition of customizing the new Zhu Zhu City hamsters for it being pure white. Just not sure really about like the fur quality texture, since like the original one and the other original Zhu Zhu Pets back then have a different fur texture compared to this one. So it might be a little bit different and vary based off what type of art utensil you'll be doing to make the customization. So right here is Chunk himself. He is one of the original of the Fab 4, and as you can tell, he is the white one in the original Zhu Zhu Pets line. Now, let's go ahead and just check out with the packaging to see what we got here. Starting off with the front, Zhu Zhu Hamster, Pets Without the Mess. Watch me zoom. His name being Chunk, and as you can tell, he's pretty chunky, and also because he's a foodie, so that's another thing. On both sides of the packaging, it says Zhu Zhu Hamster, Pets Without the Mess. And on the back side, it shows all the 6 Zhu Zhu hamsters you can collect from the first wave, alongside with the sets, that being the fire truck and station with tunnel, downtown starter set, which includes Sophie in this case. The other ones, including Carly, are not available at this time unless you live in Europe, most specifically Sweden or Norway, and then the police car with tunnel. I believe these sets will be coming out later on in Amazon on July with like initial additions to make it worth the bundle and the price. Down here is also the UPC that you can use to scan. I recommend you use this UPC to detect searching for Zhu Zhu Pets in your area with the Walmart.com app, which I highly recommend that because that's how pretty much I've been finding them a lot more recently. They're slowly getting closer here in where I am. And there's the QR code for the Zhu Zhu Pets website, so you guys can take a look at all of Zhu Zhu City and as well maybe Zhu Zhu Aquarium as a whole. And then down here is just all the information stuff, that being the logo for Sepia LLC, its unit number being 5055RR, and as well the website itself, www.zuzupets.com. But enough of the jabber jabber, let's go ahead and do the fun part of the video. That is unboxing it. And I don't have my box knife, so that I'm gonna have to grab it just a bit. Alrighty, got the box knife ready, so let's go ahead and do, as I say, the fun part of the video, that being the unboxing. So, if y'all remember Chunk with like the whole bunny ears, you would most likely be an original OG collector for the original Zhu Zhu Pets series back then in 2009 or in 2010. That's how I got Chunk. At the same time, I also got Scoodles that same day, and he came in the scuba diving set, which is like in like a specific bundle. I can't remember what type of bundle, but I'll most likely have it pictured there alongside with the Chunk with bunny ears, because that's how pretty much I got them originally back then. Here we have Chunk, super soft, super chunky. Makes sense pretty much, because look how big and lardy he is. I love Chunk. And again, like I mentioned back then just a bit ago, I love Chunk because of the many custom capabilities. Literally, everyone, whether if you're in the Zhu Zhu Pets community or not, you would literally be using Chunk as like the stock zoo to create your own customs. Here we have is the collector's sheet with everything that is all mentioned here, especially with how different it is from the original render of the Zhu Zhu Pets checklist that I got from Scoodles and Pipsqueak. It'll mention Sophie instead of Carly, and as well the instructions will be there as well, so that's another thing. Let's go ahead and unscrew that part so then we can get them out. Here is Chunk. He looks so silly. I love him. Get that piece of hair. Yeah. Another one thing that I have like one con about Chunk, and I think that goes for all that have like certain Zhu Zhu pets that are like very blank and white, is how easily dirty they can get from over time. I mean, look at the other Chunks that have been sold throughout the years. They most likely may have not lasted that long. But this one seems to be perfectly clean because it's new. But yeah. His birthmark, as you can tell, is the sun, but it says it's like a swirly explosion or something from his bio on like the little like coloring sheet that's available on the Zhu Pet's website, which is quite weird since it's really referenced mostly a sun than an exploding swirly thingy or something like that. But now let's go ahead and compare him from the many generations from 2009, and as well include the GoGoPet variant as well, just for the giggles and stuff, and as well the 2017 variant, just all together. Quite a big difference, I will say that, mostly from 2017 itself. Now with the original Chunk and as well the GoGoPet's Chunk, basically, as I mentioned, it's pretty dirty because of like the old generational memories from within, especially since I got this one secondhand, so that's another thing. It's not usually going to be this clean unless, you know, you do a little skin, then you just make yourself some Zhu Zhu soup and then just have it all clean and a lot more fluffier, per se. This one I got new in box, actually. It's been trapped in a box for 14 years until I unboxed it a few years ago. As you can tell, the birthmark is a lot more bigger as well. The birthmarks do look very different in some way, and I'll show you why. Let me just go ahead and show now 2017 Chunk. He's more of a sky blue instead of a, you know, pure white, which is quite odd, I'll say that. It makes him limited from his custom capability from what the original predecessor did back in the day, so that's another thing to mention. But as well, his birthmark is a lot more shorter. For some reason, it's like more upper than what it is from the original generation. Like the swirl is like more tilted around, like it was turned a little bit like 45 degrees counterclockwise. And the same thing as well with the new Chunk for Zhu Zhu City is as well the same case as 2017 Chunk, but it's actually with like less threading in some way. Which now I can see why this is like an explodey swirly thing, but I still see it as a sun. All the original collectors would see it as a sun. But now let's go ahead and place in the batteries for the original Chunk first. I'll have to get the screwdriver later on for the City Chunk later on in just a bit, so I'll grab that in just a bit. But let's go ahead and test out the original Chunk from the original Zhu Zhu Pet series. And my dog's barking. Give me one moment. Alrighty, pardon the intrusion. Let's go ahead and continue right here with the sound testing from each and every generation. I won't be testing out the GoGoPet version since technically this one has the same sound quality as that one, as well as another GoGoPet release, so that's another thing. And as well, to give you a little like heads up, there's also the Quest for Zoo variant in which the birthmark of the sun is silver embroidered and has a different sound pattern quality for this Chunk. There's even some releases of Green Bean in which it had Chunk sounds with that type of quality. Jake, aka Battlelord Zero, has a Green Bean with such variation of Chunk sounds for his Green Bean, so that's something that I mention. Now let's go ahead and test out 2017 Chunk, which as well has that same sound variation like the original well, the Quest for Zoo variant of Chunk from 2012. And as well, the sound pattern is as well different and high quality. And that is 2017 Chunk. Now let's go ahead and reveal the same thing for the Zhu Zhu City Chunk. Alright, there's that. And now, for the reveal, 3, 2, 1. As you can see, it's basically the nurture sounds of Chunk, except under your own command, while the head button, it goes on its own. Just like that. So it is modified like every other Zhu Zhu City hamster to have those type of sound patterns and quality, which is more higher per se. Now let's go ahead and do a little test run on Chunk. Alrighty, let's go ahead and test him out real quick to see how fast he goes. Of course, it's going to have to boost up a little bit more so then he could start working out on that wheel box. Oh. Honestly, I love missing. Oh. Even his little train sound, which is an iconic sound from him. He just farted. That's the. Oh, he almost fell. If you didn't hear it just a bit ago, his train sound is one of the iconic sounds of Chunk, and it is very higher quality compared to the 2017 version and as well the 2009 version. Now let's go ahead and give my final conclusion on Chunk from Zhu Zhu City. Alright, and now my final thoughts on Chunk from Zhu Zhu City. He is currently my favorite one out of them all that I have in my collection. The first one would be Carly, but she's going to be a little bit of a hassle to get in the meantime. But overall, Chunk is amazing, and I love him so much. He's so soft, he's so chunky, like the original variation. I mean, technically not really. He is pretty different size, I will say that. But yeah, I love Chunk so much. He's awesome. Just his personality in general is just nice. Him being as well a foodie and as well a surfer dude, that's the Chunk I remembered from the good old days. This Chunk was okay at most. He was pretty humorous out of them all, but he's mostly on the food side than he is on the surfing side, so that kind of ruins the original Chunk's personality in some way, so that's something to mention there. But it's glad to have him back with his own original personality. That I love so much. And as well with like the iconic sounds from him. He's the reason why Zhu Zhu Pets just became a big nostalgic thing. Just because of the sounds he plays will remind you that Zhu Zhu Pets existed back in the late 2000s. Overall, that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. What do you guys think of Chunk from Zhu Zhu City? And again, tell me, which Zhu Zhu City hamster would you want to get for your collection? Thank you for watching. Peace out and stay Zootastic. I love this little guy.